And welcome in everyone. Before we get into this evening's live, I would like to go over a quick overview because it's been a pretty incredible day thus far. As we see in XRP, we had an extreme liquidity drop earlier today, and I'm just trying to move something real quick. Earlier today, but we talked about how it was still a bearish back test. I mean, it was still bullish, not bearish, and I put a pretty bold statement out within my short only because I seen a lot of misinformation being put out about how XRP had fallen through, about how it wasn't bullish, about how there's so many different things. And all I could think to myself was, how is this possible that everybody's saying this? And I'll put the comments on in a sec. I don't even want to validate anything just yet because I want to get my thought out. The fact that so many people were saying that this was bearish this morning, and it's great because, you get to see sometimes you can tell the difference between somebody who really understands what they're looking at and somebody who might be, trying to get some cheap views or something. But it really doesn't do anybody any good if the information isn't being put out properly. And like for anybody looking at this, if you claim to have any kind of fundamental understanding of technical analysis, you could not have said this morning this was bearish. You would have had the same outlook I did, and you would have said the exact same thing I said, and you would have put it the exact same way I said it, because I said it's not bearish. Now, if it gives back, this back test, okay, we'll talk from there. But it was literally on a pennant flag breakout, which we talked yesterday when we were all here last. And we hit this resistance, and we said, I doubt it's going to hold this as a support. We'll have to come back down, and then you back test the pennant flag breakout. And at the time of breakout, it was a little bit higher. It was around 242, but where it ended up hitting, it was around the 235 area. And now this is what ends up happening, this extreme volatility. And nobody says it's still going to break all the way to the sun goes home. No one says it's going to go to the promised land. But the bottom line is, if you could just recognize that that was a pennant flag back test just by understanding the basic TA of the pattern setup, we wouldn't have got so, out of whack here. I know a lot of people who either sold on that drop and they were down because they thought it was about to give it all back. Even at the... It's just understanding the basic fundamentals of a setup. That's why don't let emotions dictate your response. It's that simple. We know if it breaks down that the technical drop could be down at $1.05. We already know this. So why should it bother you? The bottom line, though, is when it's in a pennant flag, it's bullish. When it breaks out of a pennant flag, it's even more bullish. When it comes down and holds the back test on a pennant flag breakout, it's super bullish. Because then you start filling out technical targets. And now we know where the breakout point is right here. The technical target right now, out of this, just the short-term consolidation. I'm not talking about the pennant itself. I'm just talking about the flag that was created on the pennant. That target right now is $3.38. Assuming this plays out. And assuming it plays out. And nobody knows if it's going to until it doesn't or it does. So the technical target right now has at least been signaled on the back test of about a 45% rally up to about $3.38. And then the technical target, mind you, it hasn't happened because we haven't confirmed this. You have to get over the cycle high right now of $2.92 approximately. If you get on top of that, you would signal the entirety of the pennant flag move, and that could get you all the way up to $5.39, which I find in a very ironic area. Because coming off of the 7-year descending wedge, it started January of 2018, yada, yada, so on and so forth. Anybody in my audience knows. And then it took from January of 2018, filled out entirely a descending wedge, which is fantastic. Filled it all the way through, finally back test and held the breakout in October, November of 24. And the technical target out of that short term was $5.49 was the target. The short target was $2.22, which we held, broke, back tested, beat the crap out of that area, kept beating it up, kept trying to fall through, hook and ladder. We did everything. We threw some smoke screens up. We even tried to rally people out. And it's weird because we were within a rally, but we tried to rally them out with the lack of understanding. There's nothing there that should have scared us. There really isn't. I said until the sun comes out, until the cows go to roost. I guess the chickens go to roost, right? Not the cows. The cows go to... But why are we trying to make it bearish is my question. Why is every single influencer that wasn't on board to buy when it was cheap, saying that this is trash, go to zero. They stopped even talk. How many people stopped talking about XRP? Now these same people are trying to tell us why it's done. Like, how about we pay attention to the pattern formation for once? How about we just stop talking emotion, our personal bias? Notice when I say something, everybody blames me for being right or wrong. I'm just talking the charts. I'm like an AI machine. What I think doesn't matter. You come here to hear my opinion when I vent, when I talk, when I speak, when I talk like this. But when it comes to the chart, you don't want to hear my opinion. All you want to know is what I know. And that means I have to properly put the pattern together. And then as it's playing through it, all I can say is when it comes to the lower sides, be prepared for this. But it shouldn't fall out. 78% of the time, it should break up. But here's the targets in case it does from an analytical approach. There's the monthly FGVG so you can fill the gaps. We know there's one at $1.52 as well, lower down. But understanding the fundamental pattern of a pennant flag, I don't need to tell you that you should be scared. Do I tell people to buy at this level? Absolutely not. Because if I was telling you to buy when it was sub 50 cents and nobody wanted to, particularly sub 40, if they didn't want to buy then, why the hell would I buy those same people? Tell those people that are asking me now and put my reputation on the line to tell you, sure, buy here. No, it's not going to happen. What I will tell you, though, is I'm not selling here. And I think you'd be a fool to sell here. And I've been saying this over and over and over. But I'm actually in a very good mood today. Be that as it may, I am actually in a very good mood. And I just tell you this because I want to be as brutally honest as I can. I don't even know how many people are here. Okay, that's a lot more than I suspected. You know why? Because when the market was dropping, my video this morning, it got up to about 1,600 views now. But it took a while to circulate because the market was dumping and a lot of people were like, nope, not today. And then the market reversed like, oh shit, probably should have watched. Let's see. A week away. Yeah. So remember, we had the consolidation, but now if we're gonna pump and finish this, remember what I've said. The best case scenario would be for this to do the big run up before the inauguration. You know why? Because then we know it's a pump and dump. That's the best case scenario. That it would go up to 549, and then every single person can make a decision on what they want to do. The reality is we dumped about a week too early, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a great thing because we filled out the pennant. This just means we might pump through, even if there's a back test. If we can get up high enough, remember, you can't really get excited. And let me be very clear. Excited. I'm happy. I'm encouraged. I know where the pennant flag can go. Understand, though, until we break this first layer of the flag, I don't get super excited. Because what I could still envision happening, run up to 338, kicking the nuts in the inauguration, and then rally back out after. So, that's what I think could possibly happen. But I would be unbelievably jump out of, and I'm feeling pretty spry for a guy who just dropped $9,000 today. Yeah, I paid the first third of my, well, it was about $8,600, but I went in, picked out my kitchen with Julie. Oh, it looks fantastic. Fortunately, my kitchen's about 73 square feet, so I can buy some nice stuff. And it sounds like it's not too much for people who have a big kitchen, but it cost me $26,000. But I had to drop 1/3 today, and I'm paying it in cash, thanks to crypto. We had a nice rally. But that's what I did today. Then they did the final measurements for my windows. So we're going to be cooking in here, and it's going to be noisy probably for some of these when I do these in a couple of weeks. And they're just going to have to listen to me because I told them, like, hey, you guys are doing work. I'm going to be doing work too. So, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting time. But anyhow, getting back on track. We'll get into the charts of XRP. We'll be looking at the heat signature map for Bitcoin because this heat liquidation map has been spot freaking on. This morning we talked about 89,000 it had to come down to, and then we were done with the drop because that was the liquidation on the heat signatures or on the heat liquidation map. And now it's even better. When we go back here now, I mean, I'm telling you guys, when you have knowledge, you don't have to be afraid of the market. You do. I've said this for years. That looks like a nice bull flag. Whew. You do not have to be afraid. You do not have to be afraid. Don't listen to what everybody else says. I keep telling you this. Listen to what yourself says. Find somebody like me, which I can't tell you that because then I'd be biased after all. But find somebody who's not an influencer. I couldn't give a rat's ass about being an influencer. Julie knows that's why I don't do any of the events. That's why I don't partake in any of these sponsorships or none of that nonsense because I'm not an influencer. What I am is somebody giving you historical data. I'm telling you what I do, and whether or not you do it or not, I don't care because I'm at least showing you what needs to be done. And I'm not a financial advisor, so you shouldn't even do what I do. But you should take into account what I'm saying and then make an educated and informed decision. He's awake?
I put a poo-poos on
Ooh, the poo-poos. Julie, what would you like?
I don't know because I'm so angry.
Here you go, Julie. I will get me food after, but you can... Here you go. I know what you like. Would you like me to make it easy for you?
Yeah.
It's something you haven't had for a while.
Ooh.
Here you go. Donuts. And I know you like it.
Ooh.
Yeah, is that a good choice? And I'll eat after, Julie. Don't worry about me. You just order yourself. Joseph, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Says, I freaking love you, Tom. I love you too, my friend. Some people say no homo here, but I don't need to say that. I just genuinely love you. I don't care if you guys think I'm a homo or not. That doesn't bother me. So what? I'm gay. I'm very happy. That's what it used to mean. I honestly, as long as you think highly of yourself, does it really matter if somebody else criticizes you? That's my new thing in 25. Do I really care? No. So I got to stop acting like I do. So, because in my general life, I don't care. Oh, I really don't. Let's see. 355 million. There's a lot of liquidity starting to form here. Like the good news here, love is the only way. I agree with that. What is going on here? This is slow. Very slow. I wonder if there's a lot of people looking. We'll come back to that, though. We'll go back to that when the time's right. But I think you guys get the picture of where Bitcoin went down to collect that liquidity at 89,000. Thought of a different D word, but donuts are good. That's right. We'll keep it happy. We'll keep it happy. But everybody, I'm going to do the intro and then we're going to get into this because I got a lot to talk about. I have not eaten dinner. I've barely eaten today. And you guys know I fast 16 hours a day. I don't say I'm angry, but I come in with the fire today. I can tell you that much. I've come in with the fire, but in a good way. Julie's hangry. So I had to order Julie food. Ooh, you can get that. Not for me. I got to wait till I'm done. I can't force myself, Julie. You know me. I'm a very picky eater. Heck, I might not even get anything. I might just look in the fridge after. But anyhow, let's do the intro and let's get into this. I appreciate the fact that 242 of you are engaged. That 242 of you are actually, or 240 are paying attention. 82 of you have hit the like button. That's okay. We're about 30%. Give us a little more credit. 33%. 33% is better than 32. And I strive for us to get to at least 75. Because I think we're 3/4 of us can do it. The other quarter, it's not that we're lazy. It's just, maybe we just don't want to hit the like button. Maybe you don't even know what I'm going to say going forward. So you're like, I don't want to hit the like button and give them an artificial like. I get it. Good evening. 6:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, January 13th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XM and Future Digibyte OG. And I reside in the great state of Michigan. The former defending champs who are about to give it away to the Buckeyes. Oh boy. Just like I said at the start of the playoff, it's going to be an oh boy kind of day. But you know, when you're not good enough as the Wolverines and you can beat the Buckeyes and they're in the playoff, I would rather lose to the Buckeyes 10 times out of 10 if I can win the national championship. If they get it done, that game meant dick, and I don't care what anybody else says. So my Ohio State brethrens, I respect Ohio State enough to say I'm rooting for them to win. Well, I'm not. But if they win, at least the Big... Well, it's kind of hard because I hate Notre Dame too. But the Big Ten is what it is. So if the Big Ten wins twice in a row, you know how it is. The reason we won our national championship is because Ohio State got into our minds, and then we said we got to get better because we got to beat these guys. The reason Ohio State's going to win the championship, they have no choice, or Ryan Day was going to get fired. So he just said, the hell with it. We're just going to win it all. And he might. He might. I hope he wins it all and leaves. I have a different conspiracy. I think if he wins it all, he's going to leave. He's going to say, you guys don't want me. I just won your title. Right here, guys. I'm going to the NFL. I think that would be hilarious. But I would probably do that in spite. Nah, you never know. But anyhow, We got a lot to talk about. Forget college football. I mean, I'm not mad. I can't be mad about this daily candle. That looked like it was going to be interesting this morning. Looked like it was going to be an interesting morning. JW, I see you in here, my friend. I always appreciate seeing you. Julie says hi as well, my friend. One of the nicest people when it comes to saying hi to Julie, I swear. If I missed a lot of comments, I know I did. Go Blue. Our basketball team's looking fantastic under Dusty May this year. But anyhow, I can see a small, well, not small, but this pattern really looks like it's getting ready, guys. Like, if this plays out to its full potential, it's pretty scary. And it's pretty awesome, actually. This would be the one that gets every single person who doubted XRP and every single person who calls us foolish for not selling it after this run up or before the run up. Imagine if it goes up another 100%. Or hell, let's say it meets its maximum capacity that we've already figured out in a chart. But I don't even want to go there. What if it just comes up here?
How do you do it?
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 109%. But look at guys, here's where it gets interesting. Dude, I'm going to do an express delivery. Here's where it gets interesting. All right, Julie, it's placed. Is the fact that it's $2.78 worth of a move, right? Well, for the people who buy it around these levels that we're at, that's 109%. For us, buying it at 35 cents, do you know how many X's we make on 100% or 110% move now? That's right. This is where it gets scary. Even if it comes up to $3 and let's say it comes up to $3, let's make this 45% move, right? Where's this? Oh, I'm way too high. I need to lower because oh, wait a minute. It is about there. Yeah, so let's just say it makes the short move here. This move that we've signaled right now, unless for some reason we fall back through, which it could. We're very volatile. But the rest of this move in the short term is about 33%. If it makes a 33% move from here, that's 85 cents. Do you realize where we bought it? For us, that is a 230 to 40% move for us in our holdings. So it'd go up another 200% from our initial investment. So if you spent $3,500 on 10,000 tokens, that's like an $8,000 to $9,000 move. $8,500 move. This is where it gets really fun when you buy something really cheap, when it gets to these levels. And that's why it's like, I'm not selling it here. Hell, $1, you're feeling it too, man. You are feeling it too, because that's almost a 1x move. That's an 85% of what. So if you bought in at $1, and let's just say you have, and I'm just hypothetical because I base everything on 10,000 tokens. That $10,000 buy on just this 33% move alone would make you 8,500. 8,000, 8 bands, 8.5 bands. Make 8.5 bands, almost 9 bands. Like, when you start talking about it like that, there's a reason why they say once you make money, it's so easy. Because remember, when we were doing this in 21, when we came off the bottom, we were where we were at. Now we've come off of the bottom, and then where we got to sit through for a couple years because we sold out at a market top, bought back. This is the incredible thing. If you're new, and I am not, believe me, I don't like the flex. I think the worst thing you can do is flex. But if you start thinking about this, just in perspective, I don't even want to go there. I'm just gonna stay on the technical analysis. It's pretty incredible when you look where we've come from then to now, and to see the difference that happens as you go from layer to layer. But the incredible thing is, if you're new, and I will say this, in 2021, not only did we front run before the market rally happened, the bull run, the small one at that, but we also sold out. So we bought in before the rally, sold out of a bull run before it dropped out, and then we bought back in at the cycle low on the next bear market. Like, culminating those three things, buying in prior to the bull market in 21, selling out prior to the dump out of the bull market on the right arm at $1.66 for XRP. You can equate all the rest equally. And then So 47 cents in on average, 166 out. Then we had 28 cents, 28 and a half in, 44 out, and then we sat in forever since 34 and a half cents. Being able to do that and doing the market cycle top, and then because everybody could just say, oh, you got lucky to buy in before the first rally, which is probably true. But it looked like on the charts we're about to have a crazy rally. But then to be able to not only understand the topping, understand not only the bottoming, that's how you take a portfolio from 4 to 5 to 6 now, and that's what's happened. When I started here in 21, I had a 4-figure portfolio at about $5,000 in totality. Now I can honestly say it's over 6 figures, you know, and it's over the $100,000 mark now, and it can do some serious damage if some of my ISO and IoT tokens take it to the next step here. Now there's going to come a calamity effect here at some point. Could we get a double top at 292? We don't know. But as according to the Pennant flag, this breakout, as long as it stays, and I know some people in here that went from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 now. It's craziness. Or 5 to 6 to 7. I need these tokens to get me $1 million. I mean, don't look at it that way. I have 10,000 XRP. Well, I have more than 10, but I base it on 10,000. So the 10,000 XRP I have, I fully anticipate that to make me 6 figures by itself. From $3,500. And my challenge to my audience was, if you have $3,500, just invest it when I tell you to. And I'm not a financial advisor, so why would you do that? Just do what I do with XRP, because most people didn't want anything else. And I said the $3,500 to $35,000 challenge, and that is something we could very well do. And from $3,500 right now, it's worth 25 grand. So I even said, you don't have to wait the whole time, but imagine if 3,500 turned into 20 grand. Hell, is that not life-changing for many of my audience? I know when I didn't have a pot to piss in, if I could have turned 3,500 into 25,000, I would have I might have had a stroke. I may have had a stroke. Whoa, wait a minute. What was that? 102,000. As much as I suffered, I deserve to fall. I need to read through some of these comments. And I really think that a lot of people that come in here, they're looking at me that are new and they're like, oh, this is just some asshole telling people what to do and he sounds like an idiot. I always tell everybody it takes at least 6 solid months to watch my content before you get a real feel of what I do. But when I make my biggest gains with my audience member as far as subscribers and respect, it's not during the pumps. It's during what happens after a big pump up, how I'm very brutally honest when there's going to be a drop, when it's bullish or bearish, what you need to look for. I'm very unbiased. A lot of people don't understand that if they've only been with one cycle. I'm only as bullish as the market lets me be. I'm only as bearish as the market demands me to be. And I'm only as excited as I need to be. Right now, I'm damn excited. You know why? We're breaking out of a pennant flag. We back tested the breakout. And right now, we're over the pivot point at $2.50. And I predetermined from long ago, and then the cycle rotation right now, that is a very exponential moment. Because the last time we didn't hold 250 after going to all-time highs and we failed to get back above, it dropped down for 7 years. And I know that's a harsh scale, but if it happens again and it ends up being a brick wall again, I will know this isn't the first time this has happened. But this time it would hurt because we have a bull flag within a pennant flag. So the bull flag broke out. We back tested the bull flag, pennant flag. This is just too much. We got so many targets. I'm telling you, if this goes the next layer, it's not just going to be XRP. The ISO are going to open up. Look at XLM back up to 42. My God. Look at H-bar. H-bar still at 20. After all of this, H-bar is at 27 cents. It's like, Jesus Louise. We bought it at 4.5 cents. What the hell is going on when you start looking? Then you look at ZIL. This measly ZIL bought it at 1.5 cents. It's barely over 2 cents. That's one you should have your eye on. Even DGB at least went from 0.0400. But then again, it's still at 1.115. And somebody asked me today in the comments. I hope you're in here right now. And I'm sorry to the comments. I'm really just trying to get all this information out because I found my groove in 2025. I don't know how to explain it. I'm much happier in these lives. I feel much freer, and I feel like a weight's been lifted because I can't explain it. I found my true me. And it's good because it's made through love, not the vindictive Tom. Vindictive Tom gets short-term gratification. I don't want that. I want long-term respect. And the only way to get that is to demand respect because I give you the respect. I can only demand respect if I'm good enough to earn it. That's the only way I want to get it. You're on the right track, Tom. I appreciate that. Tom bringing the energy. I try. Chat with your chest, Tom. Feels good. Feels good. You know what? Feels good too because I've got a 1 in a million audience, and I mean that. It would take the perfect conditions for this audience to have the mindset, the brain power, the fundamental understanding, and also the testicular fortitude to be kind, courteous, generous, and God-fearing. And present yourself with love. It just takes a certain thing. It takes a certain thing. $1 million. One day. One day. And like I said in the beginning, no matter what level you're on, because there's a lot of people way higher and way lower than us, right? When you're dealing with hundreds of dollars and you make a 20% gain, you're looking at it and you're like, ooh, $40. When you're dealing with $2,000 instead of $200, a 20% gain, you're like, ooh, $400. When you're dealing with $20,000, a 20% gain is $4,000. You're like, holy shit. Dealing with 200,000, which I don't know yet because my account isn't that big. But dealing, let's just say you're at 50,000 or 20. You get what I'm saying here. It compounds, but then remember, every single drop. Remember, at $200, a 50% drop is only $100. At $10,000, it's $5,000. You always got to remember that. So what goes up comes down, and what goes down up, it's the same thing. So you just got to keep it in perspective. And all we can do is take our emotion out of it and do our best interpretation of what the charts are showing to us. Because after all, this is more like Morse code. We don't want to predict it. We don't want to have any say in it. We just want to teach ourselves enough to see it. Joseph, thank you for the $2 donation. Says Tom, I got 100,000 XTC and 1.6. Oh my. Holy Toledo. I got to read that again. Oh, I love it. He says, Tom, I got 100,000 XTC and 1.6 million XCN. We go, woo. Woo. Hey, don't blame me for good decisions, my friend. I'm just trying to show the charts, okay? That's it. But all we should be doing, and if you get anything out of this live today, and I apologize for going in a circle, but if you get one thing out of this live, or at least in the first 27 minutes, is that you don't want to be the one predicting. You don't want it to be your emotion. You'll learn very quickly if you get on the right side of it, and I have in the last, I wasn't like this up until a year and a half ago. I could do the charts, but every time I would get into a trade, all of a sudden Tom would take over and not the charts. What do I want it to do? The exact reason I don't short the market. Because if I short it, then I'm looking for ways for the market to go down. I'm not interested in that. I want to be unbiased in my spot positions if they're warranted. And then because I understand from a non-biased position, if it tells me to sell, I will. But we're not even close to that. But you want to make sure the charts are making the decision, not you. And that's what gets a lot of people in trouble. Anti-communist says, remember, Tom is for entertainment purposes only. Yes. And as most of you have said, I'm like a wizard, or I'm the greatest AI ever created, and yada, 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 so on and so forth. So, let's see. I missed so many comments. 95,000 H bar, 1.6 million XCN, and 16 quant. Oof. XRP Bitcoin pairing, somebody said, sorry, I'm just so caught up in what everybody's saying. Does anybody remember when we talked about this and I had a ridiculous target from way down here when the breakout happened, and we were buying and we were banking and buying and banking and reinvesting? See, don't you guys remember the XRP Bitcoin pairing when we put $5,000 to it and made a significant amount of money, and where that got diluted to? And this is a major cup and handle formed here as well. Whoever said that is 100% spot on. It's just you got to make sure that it's, and this is the first time where it looks like it's trying to break out of here. But off of this, it was a total move of about 328%. And so far, it's come up about 134 off the breakout. We talked about this for most of the summer. But when we talked about it, it was back here. Remember? And then it came through last year. And then when we picked it back up somewhere around here, then we played it out until we got to this resistance. Then we just waited. Just waited. It was a fun summer. But yeah, it looks like a cup and handles form there. And the target, we already know where the target's at. It's been there forever. We're trying to get towards that 0.00005110. Hey, Tom. So after you're selling off 75% of your portfolio video, did you rebuy? I didn't need to rebuy 70. Okay, see, some of you are still caught up and not understanding exactly what I did, which I'm surprised because you're part of Tom's army to make me repeat myself for 176th time. 75% of my portfolio that wasn't related to what I wanted, the ISO or IoT that I didn't think was important. I already went over my portfolio that I hold. I've already said 1 billion times and 1 billion times over, never sold this. And this will be a nice test for me right now. I never sold my XRP XLM, my ZIL, my VeChain, my HBAR, my Algo, my VELO. But yes, I did get rid of the AMP. I did get rid of the IOST. I did get rid of all the trash that I didn't want to own. Yes, all of it, including Jasmine and some others, because it wasn't my portfolio. But what I want, and how I perfectly explained it, I still have a rather large majority. But yeah, I sold out the equivalent of $50,000 to $60,000 worth of crypto when I said it. I said it. But I sold off and kept what I wanted, though. So that, yes, I sold IOST because it was pushed by like I said a bunch of times here now. BitBoy pushed it in 2018 and 19, and I was watching the videos all the way through, and the Chinese guy who created it came on, and he essentially said that it's nothing more than siphoning money. So, and some fancy lingo, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? I've heard this before. And it very well might be pan out to be something, but I don't need to hold that kind of trash. You know, if I get that feeling. So yeah, I don't have any of that other stuff. None of it. Unless it's my IoT or ISO that I talk about on here. The only one that you don't see here is IoTX. I don't think is on here. Oh, there it is, IoTX. That's the only one that I have that's not on this main list. In VELO, but... So yeah. I don't need to buy back anything because I only sold off what I didn't want. And yeah, the market might have come way down on some of these after I sold it, but that doesn't mean I'm buying it back. I'm holding what I hold, and I'm willing to take it to the bank or take it to the grave. Unless it tells me to sell out of a bull market, that's different. But the stuff I got rid of is stuff I simply don't want. And two, I wanted to do my windows, my kitchen, a lot of other things, and I've got a lot of flexibility now. So, in a sense, you're right, but in totality, no. 75% of what? It didn't say 75% of my entire holdings. But I did explain it a lot, and I used a clever... See, a lot of people, you got to remember, the title is what gets you views, but you still got to have relevance. So a lot of people just look at the title and take it for a grain of salt of exactly what's going on. You got to watch the videos. You got to watch the 60 minutes or the 20 minutes or the hour and 15. If you want to make a comment about something I've done, you've at least got to make sure you have the proper education. Because now we've just taken away from 4 minutes of our video or 6 minutes or and maybe 2 months ago. Ah, you son of a gun! How are you gonna? I didn't do that. But that's where I've grown, and at the same time, that's where I still need to do better because I need to explain myself better, apparently. So, anyhow, now that we're all on the same page again, and I seen somebody in the comments like, "Oh my God, again with this question." Yo. Kryptonian, welcome in, and thank you so much for being here. Being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor along with Bob. I wish I would have got that right. I think Blue Bill's been in Tom's Army for... I don't remember now. Shit. Some of you have been in here for so long. But I hope everybody is having a blessed evening. We just had the daily close here. Huge reversal here. This was a huge reversal. That's not a bearish candle. It ended up flipping itself very nicely. At the start of the day, it looked like a long leg doji, but came down so far and it actually corrected itself and pushed it into a bullish candle. Oh, it's building something here, all right. Like, that is massive. But before I lose track of time, Because me and Julie had a really busy day today, and I must say I'm a little talked out. Just it's been a busy day. It's been one of those days. I had a lot of stuff I had to take care of for the house and things like that. Not only did I have him come for the final measurement of the windows, I had to go for the. You guys didn't want to hear about it, but anyhow, I wouldn't want to hear about it if I was watching this. Man, this is going real slow. This sucks. Why so slow? Why so slow? It's like it's locked up or something. I don't get it. Come on. It's like it doesn't want us to see the heat signature map. Ah, here we go. It just doesn't want us to see it. But you can see we got a big liquidation that we're heading towards. You see that? Nice line right here. I wish I could go up higher, but oh, here we go. Yes. Finally. Somehow the screen got real big, and when the screen's big, I think you guys know how this works. So let me go back into the monthly. Actually, shit, look how big that liquidation came up. In the 3-day, holy crap. We should just go back to that. Nah, we'll keep it like this. But if you see this 400 million, 435 million up there, but you don't even need to go up there yet. We've got big liquidations. Look at all this. 96,477, 500, 580 at 96. Look at all this. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $9 billion in here in liquidations on the short traders. That's a lot. Same thing we came through here that we wiped out. Now it looks like we're creating a huge W reversal possibly. Can you check what the hell is TEMA? I don't even know what that is, honestly. It has been holding on really well during the red days. VC capital investing, 2 million as well. Super bullish. Wow. TEMA, huh? TEMA. I don't know what that is. Oh, apparently I charted it at some point. Somebody must have asked about this before. But it's done a lot since the last time we looked, because I wouldn't even keep it like that. Because you'd have to reset this. That was the top. It almost came up to whatever our target was at 6.8 cents and almost hit. I don't even remember the last time we did this, but it literally almost came all the way up there. That's kind of funny. Sorry, I just wanted to look at this real quick. You just sent a nice donation. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That's interesting. Definitely a nice little reversal here in the 4 hourly. Bounce off the 200. If it breaks out of 2.6 cents, this would have a pretty lofty move up. That's a nice hefty consolidation here. Big consolidation. Oops. That would get you back up to about 5.5 cents. Yeah, if it breaks up, you're looking at a healthy push up. Now, if it breaks down, it would be interesting because then it might have to come all the way back down to some of these set points, but we'll see. Right now, it doesn't look awful. It just needs to make sure that didn't turn into a bear flag, and it's trying to make sure of it right now. All right, I got to walk outside and get Julie's food real quick because it just got delivered, and I don't want it to get too cold. It's freezing outside here. Julie, your food just got here. I'm almost done, okay? Okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure Julie had her food. She just got done feeding our son, too, because he has his feeding tube. So $2.52. Tanya, welcome in, love. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Syrian, thank you for being a very trusted mod and being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Meteor, or Predictor. Really, really appreciate that. I appreciate all of you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. Gerardo, welcome in. What's up, my friend? Hope you're having a blessed day. What if the future Tanya delivered the food during the live? Interesting. That would be interesting. That would be super interesting indeed. Let's clear this out because all this stuff's getting in the way. So what are we looking for XRP after this close? Now we got to try to hold this pivot point. This would be our next big sign. If we're looking for a next layer, I like this pivot layer that I would like to see it hold. And that's been there since before the break back down and the push back up and yada, 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 so on and so forth. But that's a huge pivot layer to me. It really is. And the big reason is that was the old cycle top here when it had to do the consolidation. So you really want to use this point of emphasis as a support zone, but only after you come back down and back test a formation breakout, which in this case was a pennant flag. And we've already done that now. So it brings me a lot of optimism here about what could happen. If we look at XLM, because I want to go through a couple of these, because in a few minutes I'm going to go, because I have not eaten. I'm starving. Julie's going to be eating. And, you know, oh, we would love it too, Tanya. We would love it too. But then with XLM, big time moment right now. You get back over this cycle uptrend, and you've got a massive consolidation that stayed within this channel. You're looking at short-term 68 and overall 94 cents if this plays out, if it does come back bullish. Unless we're coming up for a bearish rejection. And yeah, you can switch this pattern into the short term, but I'm not interested in the short term. Because I could do this all day, every day, and I could continue to write this out and say, hey, look, guys, maybe we created a symmetrical triangle here. Yeah, okay. But what about the bigger pattern? CNN, can you do a chart analysis on H-bar? Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you would have like French fries.
Where was this from?
Red Olive.
Why are they so good?
I don't know.
Son of a bitch. So they have fries. Well, they're pretty good.
Want some more?
That's your food. Let's see. Trying to invalidate the death cross. A little bit of a bearish hourly candle here for XLM. See how that plays out. Still trying to work on the bearish cross here as well. But it did bounce off nice. So for XLM, we're really just trying to play out of this. This looks like a massive consolidation. Almost like a... I think before we were talking about almost like an Adam and Eve, but I don't think it can be. Almost an inverse head and shoulders as well. So weird. If this breaks out, this would be a massive move. Incredible, one might say. Tom is the Iron Man of XRP. Tony Stark incognito. I love it. I love it. I like that comparison. Or is he breaking the lid on something? We don't know. I mean, what looks bad here for H-bar, we're just looking to break out now. We still don't know if it could have come all the way back down here to 23 cents. But we are certainly looking for a breach out of this area. Somewhere around 29 cents. And that would initiate a move to 43. Like, this is a massive consolidation. Very similar to XRP, except it's only got a couple hits. Now, we've speculated on the fact that you could... Whoops. That you could have brought this and said, oh, maybe it was something like this. Which, yeah, you could. But I chose to do it with the wicks. And then if it breaks out, it does. Because I wanted to make sure I at least knew the low support. But that's a massive pattern setting up. It's a big pattern. So, I mean, if we look at it from a shorter perspective, we do have a little bit of a support that's actually started to play out here. Like this. I guess you could say more like this. Yeah, I mean, As long as it doesn't break through this, this could set up for a massive move here. One could argue too that maybe it's on like some kind of inverse setup here and it kind of came down for a double tap on this inversion, which is interesting because it did it so beautifully. So when it came down here, then boom, boom, and then it did it again here. One could argue maybe that it creates some weird inversion here, and then it bounces out. That would be super bullish if it does. And that would give you a huge topside target. There's a lot of this. It's not just these. Like, look at DGB. I brought it up before. DGB broke down to the last layer, but now it needs to get past here to re-push up into more bullish territory. But with the way we measure this out, this could just be an inverse head and shoulders, and then it's like back testing these areas. And now on the uptrend, this is so interesting. Higher lows still, lower highs. It's interesting how this is playing out. And these could be massive plays here. Either way, they're going to be big breakouts or breakdowns. So I'm personally very intrigued to see how this plays out in the next few days. Ethereum fell off a cliff like we suspected it might. Isn't it funny how it came all the way down to there? Don't you remember where we drew this out? Either had the breakout here and then I drew this line across. I know all of you remember because that was the first area it could have held, and then more particular, if it fell through there, 2774, worst case 2120. Now can Ethereum get back above this back test drop point at 3166? The interesting thing here is XRP doesn't seem to give a rat's ass what the rest of the market does. Yes, it drops with the market, but it doesn't seem to lose its stable ground. I can't think of another asset right now, at least in the short term, that's done what XRP's done and is as far as it is ahead of 2021 right now. In 2021, we only got up to $1.98. Now, Bitcoin's in that same realm because it's up too as well from 21. But there's not many of them that have found their way even close to the 2021 levels. Not even close. Yeah, I can't even comment on Sue because I don't know its all-time high and all that. How it's reacting to 2021, I can't remember. Get paid, buy tokens, plan for next buy, rinse. Absolutely. Yeah, yep, Joseph, you're right. Those ISOs all have the same, very similar bullish patterns. They really, really do. The IoT tokens also have relevancy in that as well. There was something that I seen that I thought was pretty interesting before I leave. Because I am going to have to get something to eat. Otherwise, I'm just going to, it's going to be, it's not going to be good. Wait a minute. What did he say? Ripple owns how much XRP? Because there was a little thing right here. So during a recent interview with Devin Ryan, Director of Financial Technology Research at JMP Securities, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse stated that Ripple owns more than 100 billion worth of XRP tokens. But I mean, it's not very hard to figure that out, right? Look how many outstanding tokens they have in escrow and yada, yada, yada. So that's not really big news, but it's a big number.
Kryptonian's asking about XLR.
About what?
XLR?
I don't know what that pile of shit is.
XELA.
Besides the scammers that posted in the chat, I'm not even going to give it relevancy. I know, but Axel, I can't do it. I can't do Axelar because all the spammers in my comments, there's Axelar is one of them. And then there's some other shit thing that they always spam. And I always have to block it over and over and over. And because that's one of them.
You said there's news about AXL and XRP.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that unless I'm thinking of a different one, but it always shows Axelar as a spam token. I know you don't like them, but ADA is also in a massive bullfight. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't like Charles Hawkinson. It's not, though. What do you mean it's not, though? What? Oh, it's not the one that's... I don't know. I just... I don't know. I don't know about Axlar. Like, I don't know a lot about it. I don't. Do you like OXT Orchid or XDC? I like XDC. I don't know if it's a scam. I just said what it gets spammed, and I didn't say it was a spam. I said it gets spammed in my chat. It gets spammed in my chat all the time, and I have to block all the comments. So it's involved with Ripple. Fair enough. I'll have to do some further research on it, my friend. But I don't know what the chart would even look like. Like, I don't know. I really don't, because it threw me off with all these people that are... And it's like the other one that's always spammed in my comments. This is exactly what I would expect this chart to look like. Well, I'm just saying I would expect this chart to look like this because it's one of the #1 ones that gets literally spammed along with, what's that other one? XIV or XAV or what's that one that, I know some of you know, it always shows it in my chat, and then I always have to, Julie knows I sit in the bed or sit out here, and I have to hit hide person from my channel because there's 750 different spam things of the same thing. It's annoying. But it's part of what I do. I digress, yes. I mean, if you want my personal opinion, this looks like ass. This chart don't look... I don't know. This needs a hell of a reversal. It has already had a big drop down. So one could argue that maybe... Shit, I don't know. I might be grasping at straws here. I'd probably go like that. So, I mean, if this has any kind of hope here and it's meant to hold, it won't come down below 51. If it comes below 51, that's... I don't even know where it would go. That's why I like to have more of a understanding of something before I mean, could it really come back here to the true... I mean, it maybe. That's where you'd be looking if it goes to the true... And it's actually not even an uptrend from there. So I guess you could go and say it's created something new finally from here to here. I think that would be fair. So maybe if it falls out of here, maybe this is the uptrend. It started at 42. I don't know. This just looks like it's on a massive downturn. Small term, though, it could have started to reverse. We'll see. It's had a huge downturn, so hopefully that's the support floor. If it is, it could reverse itself up pretty hardcore up to like $1 area, actually. It's got some work to do, but it could definitely... We'll look at that again in the future. I'm going to do some research on it, so the next time I talk about it, I'll at least have more knowledge.
You sent $1 to look at thorium and solar.
No, I can't look at it anymore. My brain's fried. I appreciate the $1, but then I'd have to go into quorum and... Who? Jose Gonzalez, $1.99. Solo. You guys are lucky I'm being nice tonight. I'm actually going through stuff that I would normally just say, no. Mind you, this is like a mind fuck for me every time I do it because I've got so much stuff I cover that it's, gets interesting. What the hell exchange is that? Of course, I picked the worst exchange to look at solo on. There's no way that was on Bybit that I was just looking at. That's all solo's been on there. Okay. But you guys all know it was way lower than that. Way lower. But this is really the only relevancy we need. Could be creating a cup. That looks like a big cup. No, this doesn't look bad. This doesn't look bad at all. It just needs some volume. It really needs some volume. If it could get some volume, this would look real nice. How far does this chart go back? Well, this is such a crappy chart, honestly. Jose, thank you so much for rejoining Tom's Army for over 1 year. That's crazy. Thank you so much for that. With the I told you so badge. This doesn't look bad, though. If I'm being honest, like this short term, it's so hard to even, because I don't have the full chart. But that's starting a definite uptrend. Like, even if you come back here, that is starting some kind of an uptrend here. Like, as long as it stays on that trajectory, and that looks like a cup and handle could be forming. So Corium doesn't look bad. It's forming this. Now, it needs... Maybe it does something like that. But that definitely is forming something here on Corium. Yeah, I see it now. I see it now. You got that uptrending support. You got nice resistance here coming across. That's what you're looking at. If that breaks out, that's going to be a massive rally. That's going to be a big rally. I would probably just go from here just to be safe because it was something like this. At least we have it filled out. But just in the short term, I mean, you can already see coming out of there that, man, that's going to be way higher than that, though. If this comes out of here, short layer would be around 68. But this would have momentum to come probably up near 80 cents again, maybe even closer to $1. I'm definitely going to have to look more into XLR. And then after this, I got to go. I'm getting a headache. I need to eat something. Julie knows how when I get a certain way, I just got to stop. Because I just got to stop. So, Corium saying, ooh, massive inverse head and shoulders. At least with Corium, I can do this and then I got to go. I'm just going to show you the inverse head and shoulders. You got boom, boom, boom. If this plays out, first layer would bring you back up to here around 36.5. If that breaks out, I mean, you measure the depth of the cup. We eventually say sometime in the future, even though that's an inverse head and shoulders that would play out into a cup. You could say eventually it breaks out, and eventually we find ourselves somewhere up here if this plays out in totality, but that's just a rough estimate. But thank you all. Have a blessed evening. I have to go. I got to go eat. It's been a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege to be